The mic is on. I had a look at myself in the previous video we took.
Yeah.
And I came to discover that I'm very fat.
Yeah. Picked up a little
What a discovery.
Like, dog. You don't understand. Anyways, let's get it started, guys. Welcome everyone, it's Anil and ODs here, and we are back at another episode of Goodfellas. And today, some interesting guests we got. I'll refer to them as the Ludidi brothers. Wow. Is that a good reference?
I think if I would pick, I'd pick that over twins.
Over twins, yeah. You know brothers. What? Speaking of this whole twin and brother thing there.
Just move a bit closer to the mic, gents.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lendoye twins and brothers, digenda I think before, but a reference anytime Nina between being referred to as the Ludidi twins or the Ludidi brothers. Well, you just confirmed it now. You prefer brothers. Yeah. Anyways, we're chilling with the Ludidi brothers today, guys, and we are probably on a ride for one of the most interesting episodes we've had to date. Guys, not in a rude way, because I know Qamani and Yonela distinction by I don't know.
Alright. I'll start on my left. Yonela Ludidi.
Okay.
I don't know what guys can't just talk about
we don't have to take it that far.
Don't get carried away. It's fine.
Yeah. And then next door.
It's if it's not Yonela, it's Qamani.
Sometimes when there specifications because the viewers but now they know we've got Yonela and we've got Qamani today, right? It's a pleasure to have you guys over on the show. We really appreciate it. Blessings are the one thing we appreciate the most.
I have one question for these guys on that game. I've always been wanting to ask.
Guys, too soon. Let's go.
Who's older, guys? Like in terms of seconds or minutes or whatever the case is.
Actually, I was interested in that as well.
Yeah.
Such a cliche. Okay, I'll give you a response based on the manner in which you asked. Because a lot of people always ask, who's older?
Yeah.
So he create a little bit of a English news. Now we consider so we've always sort of like deflected that question, especially when it's we can't be called twins, so we'd rather yes. But to answer your question, because we're the best specific,
yes.
I'm the older one.
In terms of a second,
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Why are you guys making 30 minutes sound like it's 2 seconds? 30 minutes, my God. Just kidding.
He was in the process, so
you know what, man?
Oh, 30 minutes.
It's not giving. It's not giving.
Yabona into edla ngokuthiwa ngabantu baqala xa kukho amawele in the equation. So babesithi elona wele lidala leli liphume emva lancedisa eli ukuba liphume and then ke ngokulalandela ngobudala balo. So ke xa sisebenzisa ezo understandings zabantu baqala Qamani is the older.
That's it cancels each other out because we always argue that traditionally logically so it cancels each other out.
So
hey guys, dina something enzekileyo. So you know we were preparing for the show to like happen and busy sense campaigning because we're going to have you guys over in the show. We're very excited about that. So again, I had a picture of OD sent to me of you guys in Khelipa. They uploaded Facebook. My guy, let me tell you something. I had 15 girls that I've never spoken to. I kid you. Like, guy, if I ask 15 strangers, they're like, are you really having these guys over? What? When are they going to be on your show? How do you know? Guys, any as a little bit decide, they don't need advice.
I don't think liaison per se. Sometimes the timing no buys and no buys less than is right. Now it's right. You end up being, I wouldn't call
call it famous because it's gonna sound like I'm too.
Yeah, like we're feeling yourself.
But we are zero. You become someone that's in the public eye, so it's so easy for people to say that's Qamani, that's Yonela, or that's the Ludidi twins of brothers. I don't think there's anything special about us. We're similar to you.
So Akoyeza in the equation.
If you call a brand, that's it. It's a man, a man say it's our they brought light upon us and so I'd say it's our ancestors. Otherwise,
that's a very clever answer.
You guys have never been in a situation whereby cherry that was knocking one of you guys. Iphele mhlambi iba grand kumfowethu, next thing anyamala umfowethu, and then she comes to you.
That again ayicinga loo nto.
I'm sure that has happened.
I'm sure that has happened. It's going to be fun for the people watching at home to say this, but unfortunately we're not that cool.
Yeah,
we're not that cool. It's never happened before. No, they do if they're strangers, but we've never intentionally swapped.
Okay, no. I didn't mean it intentionally.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
No, girls obviously don't know, because some girls even say hi Qamani, and then I have to say hi Yonela, I have to say hi. Then I tell him when I get to the house, what dog, there's a chick that hi, do you know what happens? WhatsApp. So it happens. I think recently we went to the travel in Daba in Tegwini. I went to a gym there called Pure Fitness, I think, XN. Yonela, I'm like, and because Yonela in this moment,
you're assuming a position.
I'm a visitor because I'm here for a week. Okay, hi, and come and do describe. Slang is dark, so it's like, okay, so it does happen when you're a stranger, you don't know us, but I think once you sit with us for more than a day or two, we are kind of
okay, interesting stuff we got to learn. I won't lie, I was like, if I was to leave the room and come back again, otherwise but that's besides the point.
If you pay close attention to these guys, are they different?
They're different. It kind of makes a difference. Anyways, guys, there's a hot question actually that I'm sure that people are also wondering, including myself. Ludidi brothers, what could it be, Linda Abayenza? What do you guys do? Because it looks like they're involved in a lot of space. I saw some eventing there. I saw some gymming there. I saw some, if I recall correctly,
some politics. There
was a time I think Zindone's contest, man, because there's this contest these people have abantwana, I think.
What was that?
Panel. So zininzi ezizinto. So ngoku-expressa kweni ningathi yeyiphi ke eyona nto ningabe niyayenza that will distinguish you guys by this is what we do.
Do you want to take this?
Yeah, sure, I can take you zongas. I miss something. I think the simplest way is to say we are social entrepreneurs. I think that one also gives you what you've just said now in 2 words. We're social entrepreneurs. So Sikule Emakaya, just like any other kid, moved to Coxstate around 98, 99. Studied here, Terry Ann, Coxstate Primary, Coxstate College, went to varsity, Tegwini, 2012. Yeah, we're that old. 2012. And then from there, I think we started discovering ourselves in terms of what we are capable of doing, and also getting a little bit of direction as to where or how you can use your energy. So the reason why we are here today is not because we went to varsity and we have marketing degrees or we have a background in whatever business. We're here because we were fortunate enough to join a modeling agency and they put us on the line. That's where it started. Famous Cosmic Black.
Some modeling agency.
So Famous Cosmic Black launched us. We then went from modeling to TV, and these were not things that we studied for or had a passion for, but we had a commercial face. I put this in inverted because some directors would approach us and say, but we're watching your Instagram lives and we think you guys are the life of the party. So we're thinking, TV, come through, tell us about social media influencing. This was 2014. We're the first people to go on Instagram, Coxstate, by the way. So I think that's what we do. We have a business, we run a business which focuses mainly on destination marketing, events management, and just marketing and communication consultancy for any other business. So we're obviously using what we studied in tertiary when it comes to the business side. But in case we are born softies, we are born givers, so we give a lot to the community. You've seen us with modeling and being judge panelists and whatever. We have an academy with directors, so we coach as well. Fitness wise, we also are
guys, you guys are doing a lot.
If you are to like better, but it's a long statement.
I think just to add, not to add as per se, but just to growing up, we used to be very big on sports, so we used to play sports.
So I think when also coached Ebola,
we do.
Yes, sorry to cut you off. You can carry on.
We do. So we are very great cricketers.
Oh, cricketers.
Yes. Wow. Then football.
We are average.
Yes, we are very average footballer, but just that there was two of us, so you thought that we are great. We understood the game. So a cricketing snowball, we could do everything that a cricketer is supposed to do. Not like Tuma Kantin is a bowler.
All rounders.
We could bat, we could bowl, we could field. We were great fielders. So anyway, anything that it required you to be on a cricket pitch, you'd give absolutely 150% compared to other people. Grade 7, I remember we won an award. Grade 7 in primary school. We both shared that award for the best all-rounders.
Speaking of sharing awards, now that we're on the topic of sports, now I have to ask, obviously both of you guys are sporty. Do you ever find yourselves competing in the sphere of sports bar? My city gym, for example, he's benching 200 kilograms. I'm out here benching 80. In fact,
but I think that's good competition.
No, it's not a
the word compete is not correct.
The one
with us, it's motivate.
So now motivate.
We find ourselves motivating each other. Like, wow, for deadlift 205 cottons, I'm 160.
This is the part where this is a test this statement. On the bench, who benches the most?
It depends.
Bench press or dumbbell
bench press?
Bench press. Well, it's me, according to the last time we benched.
I think I saw you guys at the gym the one time. The gym that I used to gym with as well.
I
think I've seen you guys doing some bench pressings there.
And we were still weaker then.
I have an injury. I tore my left pec. So I'm more conscious when it comes to how much I bench. So obviously he's going to bench more.
Dominator. Okay. Understood. Again, I check it. Oh, sorry. You wanted to say something, Otis?
No, I just wanted to say, man, I didn't know that Obafo, they were also into modeling and stuff like that.
No, trust me, bro. I see that global clothing manufacturers. And that's no one and model for them as well, because it's textile stuff.
It was when I first, not even graduated. Well, that previous school, and I knew I passed. So there was a company that was franchised up at Coxhead coming all the way from Durban in Phoenix. So luckily or fortunately, the people that owned that company or bought that franchise were people from Extension 7 where I grew up. So they were like, aren't you into marketing and business at school? And I'm like, I've been from that zone. And then they were like, we would love to have you as a junior marketing director. So that's what I was doing.
Come closer.
So they were like, no, we would like to have you as a junior marketing director. Also, we know you're not experienced because of 2-3 months ago, but we are not great business people either. So we think that we need as So it was mainly that, like I was just running operations on how to create marketing strategies for them, who to approach, who to align the company with, because when I got there, they were chasing everyone. Now I've got this not a feeling, like a belief. I was Mama Nomi. So they were there. Maybe Saki season, Mount Leaf. Saki season. And then plus working, you could see we are a bit deflated. And I would ask them in doing hug, and then they would tell me, Saki season, that's the thing.
All over the place, chasing everything. It's like
and then let's first observe who wants what you want to offer. And then you give them that thing. You want to try a story, you have fish, you have juice. So you see your market. What I believe market analysis and research. They were just out there doing everything. So I just brought a little bit of that technical aspect of marketing to the company, and that's it. Unfortunately, I had to leave them within a year because I gotten a call at Joburg to go be on TV.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yes.
So Image, earlier when we were speaking, I just remembered now that you mentioned Joburg. Actually, earlier we were speaking, and you guys referenced Babe Saskesa Dibana before at Joburg, and I seem to have no memory. But at Joburg, exactly, both of you guys were there at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was going on at the time at Joburg in terms of career-wise? Nani sebenza, nani funda. What was it?
Funda, we had done that in Durban 2012 to 2015.
Okay.
So in Joburg it was more gigging. I don't want to use the word gigging, but I'd rather use it because it was a bit of TV, a bit of modeling, but mainly just...
Sorry man, you can also pull the mic closer to you. Yeah, just to avoid you having to bend, but
all right,
carry on.
So we also had started getting the bug events. So in Joburg we also started a movement in Pretoria, Arcadia side.
Okay.
We were hosting house parties and pool parties, themed house parties and pool parties. So we're just targeting students from UP and the local areas like Hatfield Square, yes,
the club strip.
So so we're targeting a lot of students there, and we thought to ourselves, look, we in the city and there's a lot of celebrities in and around, and fortunately at that time we were already moving with a couple of these celebrity people.
Sorry about that, carry on.
I know, carry on.
We're already moving with these celebrity people, so that's when we started falling in love with the idea of putting people together.
Okay.
The idea of creating concepts on how to socialize, but using obviously things that they would
Social
love, like
media,
music, utywala, ulonwabo, food, themes, and all of that, and celebrities. So we started something called Fleshy Fellas or Fleshy Events or something in Pretoria.
Back in PTA.
PTA. But we are based in Joburg, but we are working towards PTA because we had a friend who had nudged us towards Pretoria. He knew the market better than we do, and was like, "Ipate needs the life of the parties in Pretoria."
It's in PTA.
So we started events in 2016 in Pretoria. 2015 Fleshy Events or Fleshy Fellas. I don't even remember the movement, but we started that.
And Taboo.
And Taboo. Yes.
The nightclub.
Actually promoting.
You guys started Taboo.
No. We're promoting at Taboo.
Oh, that's high end. That's pretty high end.
Well, we didn't understand back then. Only now, because he doesn't even put it on our business profile anymore. I think I sent it to you this morning. It's not there. That's actually where we started. Because we were the guys that are given the responsibility to be party starters, if I can put it that way. So we are the guys
creating the
atmosphere for everyone.
You know what, guys? Regardless of how we put it, campaigning is campaigning, and if you're campaigning, you're trying to draw attention for. So definitely. I think you guys were doing something great.
Yes. We didn't realize it up until we got back in 2017. So that's when we started now going full on events. Because at Joburg it was just touching on events, touching on TV, touching on this, touching on gym, because we were personal training as well. We met a lot of our celebrity friends
through personal training.
Pretty Ugly. I used to train Pretty Ugly. Donald. Almost Mampo for the other twins. So that's where we met a lot of celebrities.
Where did you meet Tuli P, guys?
Joburg.
But Devon July through the other twins. So we went to Devon July together 2015.
Mother of all parties
in Shanga.
Portfolio I pay him down page and sorry man to cut you guys off while you guys were explaining. I just randomly thought about something since you guys were in Joburg. I couldn't help but wonder, because I thought this way when I got back, and I was like, I wonder if someone else would do what I was thinking or what I did. Joburg is obviously like the city of cities in South Africa. Everything is there, like you did mention earlier, by the club life and the promoting, all the big companies, everything is there. It's like there, corporate SA is literally in Johannesburg. And then Nabuya 2017, I think you said.
Yes.
What could have motivated that move, guys, when we're this side, when the life is there?
It wasn't motivation.
What happened?
It wasn't,
life is expensive that side.
So I think if Ngayibeka in a nutshell on Ngegele layman, we were taking a bit of a knock. So we were like, we need to regroup. So that's why I did get to Kurdish white. It wasn't motivation. I don't think anyone would be motivated to
come back from Johannesburg.
It's just that we needed to take a breather. We felt like a lot was happening or had happened over a short period of time. And we had lost so much
Okay.
At the same time, so I know
Like
it's sort of like
you had
a
lost so much, like,
contradiction.
yeah,
You lost so much, gaining so much. So it's like a contradiction of some sort.
Yeah.
But it does happen, because what then happens is that you lose bits and pieces of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 1 year down the line, 6 months, 1 year down the line, you're like, who am I?
And then the question is, why am I Yonela Joburg or my Yonela Goxet
Or am I the original?
And then you start thinking, I'm too much of Yonela Joburg and I'm no more Yonela Matatel Goxted. So you had to first say, I need to first get closer to myself and then understand what's my position right now at this moment.
But the bugs, guys, the bugs, which is what you are chasing, is about Yonela Joburg.
Funny enough, true.
Yeah.
But I think at that time we had not found a sense of direction.
Yes.
So we are just if I can put it in.
Can I just ask, Uyonela uthethe ngokujikeleza with regards to by Joburg. What I can say is the gist of what I got is that Joburg kwabu hectic kunyiwa kwa out of control kwanyanzeleka nibuye ngizumzekelo based on what I heard. Mina ndifuna ukwazi exactly what is it that was happening in Joburg that caused for you guys to be like, damn, you know what, man, fuck, we need to regroup and head back down.
I think we made a decision. That's why we gig in Monty. We were booked by a friend, industry friend, to some gig in East London.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got the check, and then as we are so I went, bruh, do you want to do more?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you think you belong? And we were asking ourselves these questions, because sometimes we do sit together and ask ourselves really harsh questions. But do you belong here? Is this the life you want to take? Is this the direction? And we're like, no. And one of the biggest things is that because you're moving with celebrities, you guys mentioned Otuli Pongolo and everything else, there's obviously that cloud as well, like city. So so in that moment we're like, but this is not me and you.
It's like we are caught up in the life.
We are caught up. That's the perfect way to
blinding.
We are caught up in all of that, and we actually were starting to lose a little bit of it traits there to so we're like, dog, let's save ourselves the last bit of energy that we have towards regrouping, but at the same time re-strategize and say, what's the movement from here? Because you've gained so much in terms of knowledge, experience, and being all over the show. But how then do you put it in a box and make sure that you make something out of it? So 2019 is when we started business, because we have sat and said, we've accumulated enough knowledge, we've made enough mistakes. And if you want to go into business or you want to hustle in this world, you must make mistakes. So I said, that is the manure that we have to use now. We think we think we've made mistakes. What then do we do about it? It's like, let's start a company. 2019 we started our company. I think it's been 5 years now.
Holdings.
Yes, that's our mother's nickname.
I research and I learn. I was like, damn, okay, creativity con.
It's our late mother's nickname.
Imani, guys, can I ask you guys something? Uzosho Holdings.
Yeah.
What is the principle? What is your core business as Uzosho Holdings? Because I understand that you guys are into a lot of things. But what is the core business?
It's not core. Let me break it down into the three things that we do. So obviously, from an innovator's perspective, we create and design concepts. So if you guys want to sell water, we'll tell you how to sell water. And then we come up with strategies as to how to promote it, how to put it there, which brands to align with. That's what we do. And then events is obviously a tactic and a strategy that we want to use to sell the destinations. So that's where the destination marketing part of the business comes. So we sell your pubs, we sell your mountains, we sell your nature reserves, we sell everything, but through the tactic of events. So what we do is that you will have noticed every event we have, there'll be something catchy. Either the VIP packages are gonna say Qamani and Yonela Avenue, and then we give you everything that's on Qamani and Yonela Avenue. With Shisa Fest, you'd find there's Maluti VIP, there's Paxton Park. With the current ones we work with locally, there was Night in Moscow, Rublev, and all of that. So what we try to do is that we try to sell the specific region or area or town using these little tactics of our festivals and our events to sell it in the form of a concept.
Ima, just another quick one. You mentioned the Shisa Fest. Can you break it down to us? But can you break it down to the people that are going to be watching? When last did you guys host the Shisa Fest?
Can I just comment before they say something?
Sure.
Once again, when I was deep in the internet doing my research, Shisa Fest, Bonilba 2019, there was something there.
Yeah.
What I saw there was awesome, guys. I'm just saying, well, it looks like you guys pulled it off there.
Yeah.
But okay, back to you, ODs. I was being a groupie for 2 seconds. They forgive me.
Yeah. So Mnanfuno was about when last you guys actually hosted Shisa Fest?
Right.
Okay.
Which year? We host like by it comes to materialize.
Okay.
And Mfuno was about why ninga bamba inconsistency, because Jembe Sejo Anelba, he saw something on 2019 which was looking stunning.
Yeah.
So now what happened in terms of inconsistency, because you guys seem very clued up about his strategies and things. So I don't think ningohlulwa a consistency. So I want to know about what happened there, because it was meant to be like an annual thing.
It is an annual thing.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, such difficult questions, bro.
It's not a difficult.
It's actually technical.
Okay, I felt it.
You can be a strategist all you want, but one part of being a strategist is accepting that things are beyond you.
Yeah.
So I think the reason why you would say there's volatility or there's fluctuations or there's inconsistencies is because 2019, when we went big, I'm gonna say big because if Shisa Fest was started in 2015, so but to be a form of a
flagship event,
it was a homecoming
bride
for the Joburgers, Western Capers, Deboners who coming back to Matatel Coxted side. Hence I think the first one was here in Tafe in somewhere. 2015 was here in Coxted. And then 2019 we were fortunate enough to be given an opportunity to present the concept or reconceptualize the concept and then present it in terms of upscaling it on a bigger scale to a government institution I'm not going to mention. They gave us a couple of hundreds of G's. That's why 2019 he says was a success. The biggest crowd, because the crowd was growing annually, but in 2019 it exploded. Obviously I think resources and finances had everything to do, because I think the baby had grown too big for us to feed it with the minimal resources we had. So when we got the resources, it shot up. It shot up in 2019 when we pulled more than 5,000 crowd. That was the first time we had so many people in an event. And then 2020 you would think COVID. 2021 again, strategy was like, do you go again? Like then COVID.
And you must remember during that COVID time, there was uncertainty on whether or not the COVID is going to be making a bounce back. There were talks
and
about
also the
different
limitations
strains
in terms of how many patrons you can have. So you're thinking a mega event that pulls 5,000 plus people cannot be done on a scale of 200 because now it defeats in terms of the financial side of the economic spin-offs. It doesn't make the same anymore.
And majority investors had taken a knock.
Some of them pulled out.
So even the government institution in 2020, 2021
they
pulled the plug and say we're redirecting the funds towards something that's more viable given the volatility of this economy of COVID. So 2022 we tried.
Then 2023 last December. It was actually big last year. December is 7 months ago. 7, 8 it feels like a long time.
This year again,
of course, guys, please. Sesiphakathi nathi kwi-industry le ibooth singayi-appreciate, just like Ega Bonjour.
I think just to continue with these sentiments above with regards to your calendar, sometimes nalando we tell about you guys include up about izinto and strategies and whatnot. We actually sat and above and considered ukuthi sometimes izinto azifuni abantu abaclude up ne-strategy. Zifuna abantu aba-practical and that are actually on the ground and hands-on. The problem with us people who are conceptualizers and whatnot,
and
technical people when it comes to marketing and whatnot, there's small things that we don't really take seriously. Not that we don't want to, but just about this doesn't overweigh this. And then and then it becomes a little bit of a cute mess. I want to use the words cute mess because it's a mess. It's a mess, but it's not a mess of or anything. But for you internally as the person who was actually steering the ship, we are was who's born is to busy shy and a whereas from someone you like like you said,
which is a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure as well because a lot of people think that you are sort of like masters of events. No one can master an event. You are only as good as your funding and your resources. I always say this to people because no one are brilliant-minded.
But if you don't have the resources,
you can't do anything.
And it's going to show.
Maga, just a quick one before we hand it over to Anele to throw some questions up a win. With the Kokstad and Matat, which town between the two receives you guys better in terms of events?
Okay.
You know what? I'll summarize it like this. Between the two towns, which one is the stronghold?
Which is a supportive one?
There's so many contradictions within this because the one that's the stronghold sometimes becomes the one that is not the stronghold.
The weak one.
So you never really know which one is the stronghold. But what I can tell you is that the amount of support we've received in Matatel is enormous. And we haven't spent much time that side. So it's like a rural home, it's a second home. And even though we were originally from there. But the love that we got that side, I would like to think that it's Matatel based on facts and numbers alone and my emotions aside. Because if I were to give you an emotional synopsis, then it would be different.
Not to cut you off. The camera is hit
30 minutes.
I need to go restart quickly.
You guys can continue. So I would think that because of numbers, I would say Matatiel. But in terms of proximity to the people, we are more closer to the people in Kokstad. So we know each and every pub owner, BNB owner, patron, Gota owner, every service provider we work with. It's either someone you've met before, you've worked with, or you went to school with. So I'd say in terms of in a circle, Kokstad, you don't have to make many calls. Matatiela, because of the distance, go to Kulele, mostly KZN side. So we go up here, we are once a year. There, I would say there's a little bit of a gap. So I suspect that's also why the love is so much, because maybe we're strangers.
Home ground advantage, guys. You know what, Nessa? I just want to take it back to Shisa Fest 2019. I'm still a little bit caught up on that. No. I'm reading my notes, guys. Don't worry. So I realized that you guys got some big hitters there. Anat, Oros. How do you guys know? Uli well in by the way. Was it anything?
I mentioned that we met a lot of at the gym. Pretty ugly.
Fuck.
So we became sort of closest friends through gym.
That was actually like his third or second Shisa Fest. So
he's always been a Shisa Fest person.
We used to bump into a taboo.
I'm chilling here as an ordinary individual, limited knowledge of what you guys do, and I just happen to be stumbling across this now. I'm like, what? How the hell did these guys manage to get these people? These big hitters, or are you familiar too much with them, or you mingle in the same spaces? How did you guys manage to extract Anat, no Oros, no Mihlali? Those are just a couple of the names I could pick up.
I think one of them is local, right? I
don't think it's a big thing to get artists to come to these remote areas like Iskakaland. I think it just comes with luck and fortune, but also at the same time good alignment. We are fortunate enough in Joburg, hence we mentioned earlier that we are moving around with these so-called big shots or big hitters.
So
it was easy to ask Banban to ask Banban to ask Banban.
And then
Banban would say Banban is saying talk to them directly. So with Oros, for example, he was a friend. He had become a friend and a brother to us. We are no Prince's twin brother. So obviously with him it was natural to conversate with him and say, look, Iskim Sam was big at that time, Jama, and people in the Eastern Cape fuck with your brand, Jama brand. So, and you kind of close to us, my brother, do us a favor, come through. And then from there, we just went online. What we do is that we've got a team of 6 guys that are really brilliant. My twin brother, only 2 of the 6. We have a team that go out there and they look at trends, they look at data, they look at everything in terms of an analysis perspective and say who's doing what and how much do people resonate and relate to them. So with the Anatis, we looked at what he was doing in that year. He had dropped years and then he had just won for producing for Beyonce or something in America. So like, gents, if this guy wants tens of thousands versus this guy CL Abad, Satitina, he's not going to be recognized in a semi-rural town, but for the brand that we are trying to create, no one is ever going to bring an Anati to Matata and you say, let's go for it, let's take a risk. There's a couple of cool kids that resonate with him. A lot of people will be like, but we know what we're doing because the brand identity says bring people that people would never imagine will come to these areas. So Anati, the scouting was simply that. He was doing that years, I think. He had just won some sort of an award, nominated.
So we actually booked him when he was nominated. So when he won, he was already on our poster.
That's we got it, guys.
And then the rest of the other guys, I think again because they were dropping hits like Black Diamond at that time. By the way, was big, and Buffo was fortunate to be speaking to Mapolo, one of the guys who managed them internally. So on WhatsApp was like the third member of Black Diamond before he split.
So Obrikwana does big songs. The Molum Kawam guy. That guy. So apparently was one of the 3 guys with Black Diamond. But they forget to back when they fall out. And then Aubrey had or they Nundu no dying
about Black Diamond.
So I had Aubrey on my WhatsApp because I love his music. Like every time he drops something, he would send it to me first before. So I was like, is that Danya? I'm like, we want those guys, maybe Hanoi. And our festival is like, I'm like, no, we can book you guys as a package. But we want those guys. So and I think he got a booking. And I clash, he was way out of our budget. Because Babing Afungui Tata, because of the ambitious. Babing Afungui Tata as a package, as a group.
They were signed to ambitious.
Black Diamond at that time. So they couldn't take the gig as a group gig with who was independent at that time.
So when I started Black Diamond, of which case as case Funayon in any case.
So Gimdan is caught up back to 2019. I'm gonna shuffle from now on. So listen, obviously you guys had a lot of these star performances and stuff like that. It's a light question actually. Based on the performances that were conducted there by the artists you guys had invited, who would you say put up the best performance?
Anati.
You see, I don't have an opinion because in an event of yours, most of the time you are running around. So you only see it.
You never get to really witness.
So I never watched anyone besides Black Diamond. And everyone was singing. But I'm like, that's the biggest performance because to hear 6,000 plus people singing one song word to word, for me, that's the best thing. But I think people say Anati. I didn't see much of Anati.
I had the privilege.
Speedster was great too.
And I saw Speedster from afar.
Stello was not
Stello I didn't see from anywhere.
Who's Speedster?
DJ Speedster. I see Speedster. You killing them.
Who's Speedster?
Mayo. Yes, Mayo.
Which artist always has a towel?
How do you guys know these boys?
We hip-hop heads. So we Kulen best rapper
is Kulen. Something we don't mention a lot.
We used to rap and sing growing up. So we've always been hip-hop heads.
So again, this was me 2019. Guys, we have to move to the next one now. 2023. And I was busy checking out. I see you guys are doing some heavy campaigning for Shisa Fest. I think you guys dubbed it all white experience, if I'm not mistaken. Again, chekisha pha ndabona fucking fumene hitters again. But not that I would say I concluded. I just want to ask, was there anything I don't know, man, like how did it go?
Okay. From a business and technical perspective, it was better than 2019. So when I say business, I mean numbers.
Yes.
Numbers, pre-event, better, sales better. The strategy...
This is 2023.
Remember, I would assume 2020, 2021, 2022, COVID was fucking around. So 2023, I saw, okay, we're back on. Yes, sorry, you were still saying that?
Yeah, so I think from a numbers perspective and a business perspective, and also given some of the Amash and Enuga that we had experienced, I think we pulled it off. Obviously, there were a couple of things from an hospitality side that I think were a total mess. But cute mess.
It's a nice one. It's a very soft one. It's a very subtle.
So from a hospitality in terms of how people feel, because remember, when you have a brand that you put out to the people to consume, the most important thing is the feel-goodism. So that's what Shisa Fest has always been about, the feel-goodism before the artist and before everything else. So the feel-goodism this time around was not at 100%, but in terms of the strategy, marketing and everything else, it was out of this world. Like the concept.
I was shocked when you said about 2019, the biggest. I was like,
I thought the lineup, it was longer.
I saw because I was like, there was a lot of people.
There was backing then. So we done this one privately funded. So obviously we're struggling with this one. This is the last one.
I see guys' creativity. Okay, sorry, carry on.
I hope most definitely you guys are working on 2024.
I don't know if we need to disclose, but internally we are having conversations.
It's in the pipeline.
There's internal talks now, yes. They are quite moving, but it's too soon to say.
I will definitely be
because
there.
it's an annual thing. You can come up in November and like we back, and then people want to jump onto it. But I think internally there's conversations, but there's also reflection. Most importantly, so before you even get ahead of yourself and think about the next project, you need to sit down and dissect and also have a post-mortem. So I think we're in the process now of it's out of 2023, we're going into 2024. What's the strategy? What did we do wrong? How did we fail? Who are our partners? How can we partner better? Because I think what we learned in 2023 was that partnering with the correct people, with the correct service providers is important. Also understanding the limitations of your budget and the resources are also important. So don't get too wild and you are going to have limited finances. So that's the conversation, that we're having internally at the moment. But we are talking about it, and it's quite exciting because we're talking about it in a very strategic, but looking at remedial more than excitement, because with Shisa Fest every year you want to get too excited about it and forget that you had one little hiccup or two little hiccups or even three for that matter. So right now we're going from 2019 2023 and we're looking at hiccup per hiccup per hiccup and saying how do you then get into 2024?
Also, Bafo mentioned something very important: partners. If you remember earlier, I said you are only as big or good as your resources and your funding. So right now there's no funding, so you might be excited as a patron that you think that Shisa Fest is going to happen. But for us, we are not going overboard like last year, getting ourselves into trouble, financial constraints, trying to make people happy, and then Skawateg
running at a loss at the same time.
And then everyone else had a good show and everything like that. So I think in a nutshell, Lante partners right now, if there are no partners,
we are in conversation, but we know that if the partners don't satisfy us and what they bring to the table does not come and mitigate what we've seen over the past couple of Shisa Fests, then we'd rather not budge into it and not do it, because it's not something. When you run a project, you don't do it because you have to do it. You have to do it because precision is there. There's a lot of thinking behind it, and if there's none of that,
I love your guys' thinking. Yes, guys, I really love you guys' thinking.
If you has the creativity, I just want to mention a couple of things I saw there. Fitness fest, food fest, wine fest, music fest.
That's last year, by the way. The so-called small
one. I get cute messages in some of these segments here, and I consent to one. But where's this mentioned layer up? I'm sure these are things. So some of the concepts you guys had running in the 2023 version.
But it's also even in the June one, we had an event we just launched called Lake in Damn Good Festival, on top of a mountain, which is based on having an event on top of the mountain on a lake or a river.
The cute mess gave away a segment.
Can I take this? This is 2023.
23, we're done with 2019. So chapter.
No, the cute mess actually wasn't one compliance wise. Well, this is something obviously that was internal at that time, so this is the first time I'm actually disclosing this. I had a couple of moments on my social media where I'd sort of like have outbursts, but I wouldn't go technical. You were
pulling a kabza there.
You'd say. So any cute message was the fact that we had not known. Remember, we had last hosted something that big in 2019, so there are so many new rules when it comes to compliance.
The game has changed.
Security, cluster, compliance, and everything. So we put out these things like Wine Fest, only to find out from the security guard. No, the fitness one was fine because as an saying there was no alcohol involved, and the cops are not even involved. So it's something of a room now feels and stuff like that. So with the Wine Fest is that we couldn't execute it because i-security class asiqala into esasikayazi sabe sesigqibile thina ngokuplan ubana if ukune Shisa Fest ne-Wine Fest, that means those are two separate things.
Even though it's a concept,
it's under one umbrella.
So but Wine Fest if maybe some legalizations. This is now November.
It sounds like they were just complicating
it's like 6 weeks
or 4 weeks
to do those things, and you're looking at the calendar, you're like we don't it's clogged for us. So those are some of the cute measures that we couldn't execute i-Wine Fest because sinekhala uba athena amapolisa le nto ayenziwa funeka kube nephepha and now xasijonga it's 4 weeks before the event and we apply 6 weeks before. So I'm like, guys, shy. But now we couldn't go out there and say,
this is what's happening.
We just subtly done something cute because we even said, okay, now that we've communicated, it's got to go to APC as long as. So everything was just when it comes to
also, I think in terms of being someone who as a creative, you guys will be familiar with this dude, porridge.
Yes.
When the pot is clappering.
I got it. Very cutify. Yeah.
You don't rush your bambimbies. Ucima stove. When's the show petty fight or something? Yeah, so we're in that position of it be clapping bees apart. That's not fat hook.
Yeah.
And this stove is so good. So in a nutshell, if I could put it in an analogy, funny analogy, that's where we are. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take away from the fact that this dude is a healthy meal in the black community.
Hey, what's why softness or example why tata why soft why pagisha bra done with it. I know you beg bra. Oh, this you had a question. I cut you off the jump on it.
No, man, I didn't have a question. But it could be
no.
No.
Oh, fuck, sorry about that, guys.
If you're still looking for a question, guys, we're planning on shooting like an advert for this gin. So I think I'll have to liaise with you guys, but after the show, obviously.
Sure.
So that since Nizi strategist, you guys also do like brand strategies and whatnot, and you also model at the same time.
Used to.
Used to.
Ever since I couldn't share if you look at our pictures of models, so now there's this number is when you have to do something because someone that you book is not there, so you use your face.
Right.
You know what? So Andy, you said that 2024 Shisa Fest is in talks. You can't speak and say that it's guaranteed it's going to happen, but we can acknowledge that it's something that is under discussion. It's pending. By outcome is Obanjani, we can't tell. In terms of his sponsorships, I'll speak for in the future. Which sponsors would you guys say you would love to jump on you guys that will set you guys like, you know what, if these guys jump on, we are gone.
Well, what we do is that when it comes to brands and sponsorships, we have local, regional, and then obviously the big ones, corporate ones.
Yes.
But we also just look at the different sectors that they represent and also how they can be aligned to what we are trying to do. Because remember, Shisa Fest is not a Potoi festival where you're going to be getting a lot of noise, but it's also about the feel-goodism, as I mentioned earlier on. So we look at the financial service providing side. Who do you work with the banks? And who has the best rates for young kids? Because our demographic in terms of attendance is 18 to 35 predominantly. So those people obviously cannot afford other things than other banks. So we look at the banks. We'd obviously love to work with Nedbank because of what they do nationally now. They partner with artists that we really love, like Shakina, and they've got their own gigs now in Bramfontein. It's similar to Back to the City.
Cool stuff.
They're hosting their own festivals with Nedbank. So I looked at them like in terms of the FSP side. Nedbank is the one. And obviously from alcohol brands, there's quite a few, but I can mention my favorite.
Just one of them, please.
Oh yeah.
Remember, for local,
regionally, and nationally.
That's why the champion on that guys. But the local, be aware. Sorry, that was me.
So from an alcohol brands, Escat is a national. Obviously, we'd love to work with the ABN Bev, which is the holding company for Brutal Fruit, Stella, Corona, Casala, Budweiser.
Yes.
For reasons obvious to us there. But they also have a little bit of a partnership with Absolute and Jägermeister. So that's also like coming from a spirit side. They also rope them in if you speak well to them. So AP and Bev, the holding company, definitely them. Heineken is also the mother company of Heine Utusa Savan. They also offer you a lot in terms of what they bring infrastructure wise. So they like probably the first people want to talk to, but AB and Bev, because of how they align with the brand, we prefer them.
I think just them alone from those two, from an alcohol perspective, I'm so
they can pretty much cover like
they cover everything.
They can give you a stage, they can give you marquee and furniture, and they can book an artist.
So I think what they offer you is pretty much
so what else can you ask for?
Pretty much the best.
But we also would love to work with people like network service providers, because we all understand that Shisa Fest was built online and and it's always trending online. Or like if you are trender online. So we always said maybe Telkom, maybe Vodacom.
But those are big guys.
No, look, fortunately, because we always know someone inside, so you always have those chats, man. I can hook you up with Brabanban from this department of brand or marketing and whatever. So those are the guys who want to work with. Obviously, locally, we've worked with the Principal Boutique Hotel in Matatiele,
Rest Haven in
Matatiele. We've worked with Beverly Lodge in Matatiele.
Cindy Travel.
We've worked with the Country Club is like a partner.
Always host
Cindy Travel Agency is like a sponsor and a partner because they assist us in terms of facilitating logistics for artists, but also offer us some things to make sure that we run the event smoothly. We also have people like the Informa Digital TV who are similar to what you guys are setting up now. Part of them, what they do is advertising and digital television.
We had the Paper Lamb last year,
which is
another newspaper from Abe Pondweni. They were on board last year, but not a lot, but just this Moranya, hence Africa scale, but local, regional, and don't. So Kuba, you'd go and say, I need the transport car order some type of airport, and they'll be like, okay, it's got a car, I will sort that out for you. Those are small things, relatively, but those are huge things for us.
But in return for them, the exposure they get,
brand equity and exposure that they get is massive, because we're talking thousands of kids that come from Cape Town during the year. They're in Cape Town, Joburg. So obviously, client and also we look at things like I was trying to find this place, government institutions, because remember, there's no business without politics, and there's no politics without business. So one of the main things that we want to do as a business people is to make sure that we tackle some of the things that we believe that from a political level. For example, when you create a strategy on how to make sure that you up the rate of abantu abaqashiwe abancane kwi-Shisa Fest, we look at internships. So what we do is that we want to partner with the municipalities. They give us your data. How are kids struggling in terms of graduates? Can we fit them into this kind of line of work?
So you get kids into logistics.
Shout out to that, guys. I think I saw his status.
We even gave a child
they see these.
So one was studying in logistics, some negatible free experience. I don't think her experience is free, but we gave her experience because we're funding logistics. So she was mainly assisting with Karale logistics as an event. And then after the event, there's a guy because Fodela. So he had a passion. We're from grade 12, I think, at that time. He had a passion to go and study film and production. So we sat and said, enye yezinto that we think are huge pillars kulento esiyenzayo is everything and anything that has to do with visuals and visuals. Masimbukele umntwana mina sofundela umntwana. So we actually never actually booked him for the event, but we shoot there. But then after the event, we gave him 10,000 rand to go to EFTA,
the film school there.
So actually a lot of things like artist development programs.
You guys are actually doing quite so carry on, man.
On paper it looks big and it might come across as if these guys have it all together, but we're just young guys who are passionate. I think it's passion that drives us. But good buys that way to at least there's an element of strategy and also conceding when you are wrong, which is the most important thing when you start anything or get into any kind of a relationship, is to know that even though unamandla, but amandla wakho are limited.
I'll always say this. Look, if you can run a relationship, you're mjolo.
You can run a company. You know what, guys? I have to ask, because it looks like you guys are doing a lot of things, which is awesome. Is there any other space that you guys are looking forward to infiltrating other than the event space? Does it in the future mhlambe nathi sibe nolwazi ikhona mhlambe enye into beningathanda ungena kuyo, maybe logistics nezumzekelo nje, guys? It doesn't have to be logistics. Otherwise, you guys are just content with being in the space of events.
Look, the fortunate part about the space that we're in is that we get to do multiple things within one thing. So we can do
it's flexible.
We can do a bit of the commerce, but we can do a bit of the community development through the initiatives that we have. So we don't have to do anything else to be fulfilled in that manner. Obviously, with business interest, property for me and my twin brother is like, because
property.
Data proves that all billionaires have property.
Yes.
So if you want to
Coxted. Are we talking Coxted when you talk about property?
The thing is, we don't think Coxted, we think big.
Yeah.
And then start Coxted. Now Coxted being small.
Yeah.
When you say, okay, you guys say big.
One of our first episodes, we discussed property. Yeah.
When you guys say big, what's the ultimate of big, guys? Is it overseas? Is it Joburg? Is it Cape Town?
Look, for me, big doesn't necessarily mean across borders. It just means scale, impact.
Okay.
So if impact is as equivalent to what a multinational company can do, whether you're doing it in Cedarville or you're doing it in Franklin, that's big.
Yeah.
So big in this sense is not location per se, but big is impact.
Yes.
And also what you get to do in terms of the generation of
one would argue the impact that some of the events that we've done are actually as big as our pop bottles, but where are we doing them?
So it's like
I promise you, we love
and people say, you're arrogant. It's not arrogant. We've attended almost all these festivals. We know how they operate. We know how they are founded. We know the direction they take. We know the feel-goodism about them. Hence, we're so big on them because we critique them. We attend them.
Like when we go to festivals, we don't go there and say, Kapsa, look at why is the stage like that? Why is the water like that? So that's just, and then after that, we have a chat about it over drinks. During the whole so you wouldn't want to go to a festival
with us because
I think if I have the blip on the screen, irrelevant.
We are actually boring guys, according to Abandona. We are very boring.
But property is a big thing we want to get into. It's a big thing. Transport is another big thing, whether it's from a logistics perspective or just basic transport. But transport, obviously, people move every day in and out. Things move every day in and out. So we know in terms of the actual business, I will call it actual because we always laugh and say events are not a business.
It's not a business.
It's a whole
passion.
Portfolio for your profile.
It's a passion that grows.
And then that's where you get all of your clients from. Because remember, if you're pulling 20,000 people to your event, they know you now. So anything you start order, they come and say, so everything you do, my brother, it's always an element of where you're trying to put yourself out there, but through what? A tactical strategy. So there's never a business that you say you're content, but there's never a place or a point in your life where you say you're always trying to elevate, but you know that each and every step starts here and then you move up.
And also from an entrepreneurial perspective, you can't survive with just one
source of income.
That's been one of our biggest stumbling blocks, Tina, because I think for the most time, what focus that is events related, so much so that Abayamant would get shocked when they found out that we actually sports people, we actually do things like coaching, fitness and whatnot, and then people, but the problem with us is that is that the more any focal point, the more people think that you're so now there's a time in our lives where we are just big on events, and then people are like, you the events guys,
and then 2022, 2023
big on gym,
sports and fitness,
and they're like,
the personal coaches.
I'm like, no, we still the same.
We still do this and that. So now you find yourself trying to say, guys, but I sent you our portfolio. It shows everything. It shows everything. Like Ubafu was a secretary of the youth council. I think
politics and leadership
is one thing that we do, but we are not loud leaders. We are leaders that are calm,
Sorry,
we
guys.
lead by impact.
Can I just say something random just to cool everything down? When you guys see me fiddling here, what do you guys think I'm doing here?
Volume.
I was sitting here thinking, I'm trying so hard to control the volume here. I'm like, okay, that's why I keep saying, if you guys can just try and maintain a single position.
Just lean.
Just lean like that, so that this set the volume once, and then I know I don't have to fiddle with this thing here. Anyways, Otto, you wanted to say something?
Yes, guys, and Vanitiga with the sponsorships, or with the partner that you guys are requesting, that you're applying to for the Shisa Fest. You mentioned that these guys, they give you like stretch tents, they give you
marquees, decor.
I was under the impression that you guys also run those type of services, like
renting out.
We do have frame tents and
equipment as well. Remember, Christmas 2023 or 2024. ayizubana lanto efanayo.
Not even close.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't.
So in a nutshell, if you're going to take your stuff that gets booked every weekend, uyoyisebenzisa kakhulu ephula abantu abaninzi, uzazidubula enyaweni. So it's important to shout out to people and say, look, in as much as I have the capacity, I think, but is that are so-called state of the art, so that you can be able to rest as it or repurpose them. So we can use them for beer gardens or food stores or whatever, instead of the main marquees and main furniture for the event.
Kuko Indawa, we've got a local spot here. When I was busy chatting with my birds doing research, trying to find out. You guys also leased out, I think it's sofa and some of the equipment there.
Yeah.
So you guys are actually pretty big on the space of
events.
Leasing out just fun equipment and sound systems, etc. On a lighter note, guys.
But can I just touch on that, because it also just goes to the expendability or expensiveness, if there's such a word. I'm not sure. It's Lungsian bet. Maybe that's. We realize that to be an intellectual property or a concept-based business does not serve the same amount or give you the same revenue fruits as being someone who owns
physical stuff.
So like you're gonna wait for writing something to get something to come up, whereas every day people can poke something. So we're like, some of the money that we make, what do we do with it? So like in terms of waiting for the festival or the event in a pub, let's get stuff that people need every weekend in a pub. So furniture, couches, VIP decor setup and marquees and frame tents is something that we believe Sisonka say to now, it's a spaza shop. At least the data yako
Do you guys have kids by any chance?
Yeah, we are.
But school fees.
How many kids do you have?
Let me say something. The question is, how many kids do you have that you are aware of? That is the question. No. Okay, I know if you don't want to answer, bro. Trust me, we understand.
How many kids do you have?
I've got a daughter, friends.
So it's one child.
I've got a daughter.
So it's only one child.
I have
yes or no?
Well, you started to sound like one of those politicians. You ask them a question and they're just dancing around it. Like,
they sound like journalists. You just want to.
Now you guys sound like these journalists. You know what? Saying something that might incriminate me.
I've got kids, bro.
I've got a daughter. I've got a daughter. We've got kids.
Okay.
Guys, I think we hit the buffer. Can I just restart the buffer again? Fuck, bro. Camera equipment. But the question is, kids. I'm a daughter.
I love this conversation. If Moktam Khambe, it's moving towards.
I'm still live.
We're still running. It's just that it's just gonna have a bleak on the visual, but the audio is still running.
You would imagine that obviously these guys are traveled in the sense that they've seen things or they imagine things a lot. So traveling sometimes doesn't necessarily mean moving your feet.
Can't be short.
So we do have kids, my brother.
I know. You know what? Kids is if at least tell you something. It's this age now. For Nage personally, I'm not going to speak for everyone. It's at a point where it's like, fuck, whatever income is coming in at the back of my head. We have sometimes to take a portion. He said, at the back of my head.
That's why we need to work hard. That's why we're trying to work hard. Actually.
That's why sometimes for us, internet is far extended. It's just not about inzala. It's also about abantu zala nabo, because we've sort of like taken up roles of as father figures to our little brothers and siblings. So it's just beyond everything.
But also the pressure of you making it is not only for yourself alone. We come from communities where we think there's so many things that can be changed, and no one looks like they want to change them. When you wake up in the morning that you're not just doing it because you want to be seen. You are doing it because you want a young boy to look at you and say, I
think just to touch on what Tubaf was saying, I'm sorry to jump in.
No, it's okay.
Kunabafana like young boys, probably the same age as our little brother, who like once visited us like 3 months ago. Then we took out inyama because us pay inyama tomatoes into farming, so he gave us some pig meat. So the boys Brian inyama because I'm gonna say Moshara. Tina, we know so we gym people.
We are the athletes.
Yeah,
we do not engage in
we
fat.
really believe in red meat like protein. Protein like boys.
Yeah, vanilla terms of protein.
So Sabakupela some stuff. I think we had a couple of beers from the previous night and whatever. And then one of them I want to quote was like, "Yo, brothers, I don't think you guys understand how much motivation you guys give to us apekas." So I'm like, okay, this is a first. I'm like, I hear this from my old brother because he lives with us. He can't say guys like up and clean. And then I'm like, carry on. Then he's like, Ingagi, you guys started this and then no one really understood what you guys are trying to do when you guys started all of this. You guys have not been backed, you guys have been sabotaged. They know we history too. People every day always try and work hard to sabotage you guys, and then the little people are trying to assist you guys in whatever way they can. If you guys would give up, because this is Zamaya as Gafanis in home. I'm like, but
you know, but those are actually hard words. I think one eye. One eye. No, guy, listen, if you did cry, it's okay. Guys, what's up with men and refusing to cry?
No, I cried. One eye, though.
And I think the one thing that we need to make sure that we instill in these younger kids is that we must stop sabotaging each other.
Yes.
The
problem with sabotage is that sabotage was birthed in small towns. I'm sorry to say this because at Joburg, if I stay in Soweto,
move closer to
if I stay in Soweto and you stay in Krugersdorp, I don't know what Anel is up to. But the problem, the DT is sabotage. I feel like it was birthed by small towns. If Qamani and Yonela or something, it's easier for order to try and sabotage that because we're in a confined space. We're in a confined space where everyone's trying to do something or trying to do what you are doing. So if they feel like when I saw Nimigama, because a lot of people always say you guys are events experts, and I always tell them you'd be shocked. What I saw the experts is just that in a say I'm in as much as now but it's also so Askabi is the experts because the experts this guy in fact this is a platform. No, cute messes. Besides that, the experts best guy is like with podcast and concede. Perfect in what they do. So I think it's just in a nutshell shows ukuthi kulomgamo esesiwambile. But it's just that you know exactly where you are going. So push right low way and then
consistent.
Yes, push right low way.
Ndiyancoma kodwa icace bale nto eniyenzayo guys iyabona ngabantu abangaphandle for bakufike abantu bazofike bazoncoma masithi intwana, you know, these are people you usually think they don't pay attention, bane recognize and bane acknowledge more than anything. They appreciate for them to even put a statement so if you guys were to give up on what you're doing, trust us, amathembe to ukuthi ourselves.
They said it.
I think I would have cried more than one eye though, but okay, cool.
Anyways, guys, those words, if they shouldn't make you feel like you
top of the world.
Yes, they should rather make you understand that the work that you need to
impact
put
you
in,
have on them.
Yes, and the work that you have to put in is immense. Because if that boy says that, there's someone who's silently saying it but doesn't want to say it. Which means now you've shifted from being Qamani and Yonela and you've become, I'm not gonna say a vessel of umphakathi, but you become an integral part of what it means to make sure that umuntu omnyama uyakwazi ukuthatha amanyathelo aphambili even though kunzima, provided the situations and the circumstances.
I think as black people, guys, we need to, wonder if we can study the Muslim guys.
Or the Greek guys.
I love them
guys.
My brother, they've got the spiderweb economy.
The spiderweb economy mindset where you take out and say no awunanto izohlala nathi ufike ukuthi xa sesizonazo izinto thina sokunika wenze lento ucube ungayenza. After that you don't say yes ukuzamile sokushiya because in our black community when we assist you siyakushiya and then go and tell others but they coming back and say without having to say I took up the role of being the savior in Odwa's life. So if you can take up what other people are doing, we would be
I said to a friend, SAS driver, I don't know if Matati or Mount Frey, but SAS driver, I remember very precisely. This world will be such a beautiful place if we were allowed, given that there are restrictions, we were allowed to bite is to take bits and pieces from each and every religion
or spiritual group.
Because there's something I love the most about abantu bakashembe that I read about. Abantu bakashembe banale mindset or philosophy if Odwa pays for my couch today or my tent today, don't touch that money until tomorrow. So allow imali. And then we laughed about us like so sit down, you work McDonald's. And that's when you wake up in the morning, it's like, if only I had stayed at home. The problem was that we don't give imali enough time ba izinze kwi-account zethu
asirespect
imali imali and imali yasibaleka sabantu abamnyama xa uya kwibhakhi uzoyibamba uthi
izawubaleka
ihambe. So I think thina sabantu abamnyama sinalo ngxaki, but ke ndibakhupha abantu bakashebe because hence I said bandibhayithe kuba bona banale belief ubana imali
ingena mayilale ingahambi ifika
thina bingene ngoyebusuku unqamukile
ungathatha necab ngasebusuku
hamba so airtime ithi ngena uthenga airtime uthumela i-wallet Qamani ubamba i-wallet Yonela naku-wallet ngabangena le mali ayinane 30 minutes ngene
bengangenanga le mali uzoyithenga ngantoni McDonald's.
Which now comes back to some of the passions that we have, which is leadership and reconscientizing black people. Some of the things that people don't understand or believe that we do is that we are firm believers of making sure that abantu abamnyama sayinkcenkceshela ingqondo yabo. There's concepts that we've created called Black Minds Matter. It was big when there was Black Lives Matter, but when the Youth Council, so I was the secretary at that time. So our main strategy was to make sure that before we speak economics and how to grow the economy, we must understand that without the mindset, there's no economy. Because I give you $1 million, you blow it today. I give you $1 million, you sit with it and you don't know what to do with it. But if you create the mindset of how to manage, to grow,
and accumulate it,
then you understand that the economy exists not without the mindset. So some of the things that we really would love to do in the future is to be given enough platforms where we could reconscientize black people about understanding where we come from, but how we are positioned right now in the economy and what decisions and habits and mindsets that we need to take up. So those are the things that I think personally what drive us every day. Ibali ne business, it's secondary. I know people want to say but imali ne business is secondary. Imali ne business is secondary. There's a school of thought that we want to come up with. We want to come up with a school of thought where humility is the biggest thing. Uthi uqhuba kuxelela ba wena wazuthulo okanye wazubani uthi okay but ndazi notata uDlamini napha elalini. To understand that even though you are climbing up the ladder, it does not mean that you are someone of less ukujongele phezulu.
And you forget where you coming from.
It's an important principle of life. It's an important, hence you'll never see us we were drinking Hennessy's and we have no Gucci. And not that I'm saying there's anything against designer clothes, but I'm saying it's something that we've set and decided, do you want to be labeled as those kind of people? So that's the kind of mindset that we entrenched in, even in ourselves. I think it's a spiralish. And fortunately for us, bizana into the headquarter. Since izolo ibrand yethu so you must be able to control space sakho and the confinement of the spaces around.
Hey guys, sorry ngokunqhawula. Dinento ebendike ndayicinga xesha sithethayo apha. I've come to notice that you guys you seem to be in partnership or do things together.
Everything.
So to everything because you might everything.
Okay, like a lot of things. Let's say most of the things.
Business things. I think let's say business things.
It only, okay. I almost made a comment. Okay. So I have to ask, but has it ever occurred to any of you guys in your individual capacity to venture out and do something in his own capacity?
Can I take that?
I don't think it would work because
it does.
I think energy and complements one another and motivates.
It's a weakness, though. If I must concede,
the only thing that I want.
I'm also thinking of it, but has it like guys as that's awesome.
I always
has it never occurred? But what if he wants to be a biker tomorrow? Would you like also be a biker? As much as you guys do izinto nobabini, I was thinking there must be some individualism in each of you guys as much as in the solo and the sevens and nobabini.
I don't know if it's funny or sad.
It's frightening.
It's frightening.
To think, but you have to think deep to find it. You have to think deep to find it.
I don't know anything that I would want to do that he doesn't have a passion in.
But let me be honest with you. I think most of these things are driven by the fact that you spend 24/7 together. So even if I returned, a passionate guy now, it usually comes from a point of what support silently. Then you're like, to be honest, most of the things that we do now is not because somebody is one
had a bigger passion.
When you jump on right away. I think it also comes from a sense of there's nothing we understand more than us.
So flavor do you like yellow bones? Do you like dark skins? Does that identify like individualism?
You can't be exactly the same. Because I was like, actually, is those fun, and you don't even pay attention to them until you see them by man. And you can't control it.
But I don't think it's consciously done. I think it's more influence than conscious.
It's telepathy.
So in women, guys, in women, you guys have got the same taste.
I don't know what taste in women is.
Similar.
Maybe I would have to ask them what is his taste. What is his taste? Let me tell you the honest truth. My twin brother and I grew up in a colored community, and then we grew up with white people. So we obviously, aesthetically, I think we like colored women. I want to just put this fixed in aesthetically, I think we like colored women.
Both of you guys like colored women.
Aesthetically.
Yes. Fine, but in liking here fun. On both sides.
It's similar.
I get darky, like those dark girls.
I've learned to see that because looking at my history, I've actually had more of those Nubian girls. And I'm like, like dark skin, proper natural girls.
I think they make up.
I think my soul let me concede, I think my soul clicks with those. My eye clicks with colors. And then it's a conflict now.
What a contradiction.
Did you hear what he said? His soul clicks with A and his eyes clicks with B. Does your soul and your eye click with exactly the same thing?
Exactly. And you don't even know.
I was hoping there's going to be someone who agrees and says that. No,
I'll make a typical example. People always ask, when are you two getting married? And this is family.
Is it going to be
friends.
The same day?
I wanted to be on the same
economy
day.
So
getting married on the same day. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like going to the mountain. Share the cost, I'm going to share the cost.
Share the cost.
So these are from an economic point of view.
Yes, always one maki, one day, one pasta.
Listen here, guys. I've experienced a lot of things. If you guys didn't notice, I was literally trying to separate you guys, but I inseparable. We break it down into layman's terms. We break it down into complicated terms.
Let me tell you something that separates us. He has a thing for tattoos and
body art and piercings.
Blonde hair.
Oh, check it off. Let's check.
Wait, now you don't bite me.
I just recently got my first tattoo after 8 years in Iowa, and it was like,
well, I
appreciate that there is some form of individualism that exists in each of you guys.
I would say I'm more basic than him in terms of how I want to look. He wants to take time with himself.
He's flamboyant.
Yes, I suppose because of the target market. they tend to like them fluffies.
No ways. What is this type of
Stop.
If the phone is working, who's divide? It's working.
No, you know what? I'm not like a specialist in anything, or I know stuff, or I'm some psyche, blah blah. At some point, naturally, you have to be like, there must be some kind.
He's so small and
Let me tell you the reality of why we're so glued together.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to agree with this. It's not because there's a calling or there's supernatural powers that make us align and be coordinated like we are. I think because I understand that in order for us to make it, we need to push together so that then we can decide. Then we can decide. So in our position in our life, in our journey, we're at a point of pushing. And I cannot push alone. So hence some of the things are going to seem similar. I guarantee you, when you get to 35 and 40, that will be the next 4 years of 10 years. 40. That's our age.
Almost such a sort of a foot there.
When you get to 40, I guarantee you might find that you'll find Qamani bird watching, and maybe you might find Yonela hiking on the mountains. There will be differences. I think mostly they'll be influenced by partners. Where are you now in your life, and then are you guys partnered up? Because obviously our partners are not going to be living in the same. So I might align or lean towards what my girlfriend or my wife or fiance would be wanting, and then I might realize, like I realize with some of the things that he likes, but this is not a bad thing to like. So maybe it will differentiate. But I think right now it's because we are pushing. It looks as if we are so connected, but the connection is not even about the twins. It's about the push. Because we need to get to destination
common
X.
goal.
Yes, common goal.
Everything is
we need 2 people to push, or 3 or more. So we can't then split ourselves. So even in the things that we take like habits, you'll find because of the time we spend together, the habits might be similar. But what I do know is that when we get to this age I mentioned before, we will start seeing that, no man, I like this, he likes that, all of that.
And obviously there's going to be the influence of a spouse. There's going to be the influence of the guys,
of the partners in the
announcer, we are sitting at 1 hour 20 minutes.
I told you guys.
Let's close.
Let's close it.
It was a good day, guys.
It's the longest episode we've had, guys.
Probably will be the longest. Until you call us.
You know what usually happens there? What usually happens is I run the buffer once on each episode. I had to run it twice. And I'm running it I'm approaching the third cycle. I'm like, okay, guys, otherwise I just have to make an announcement again. Sihleli up with Ludidi brothers. Qamani and Yonela Ludidi. Guys, thank you so much for coming to your show here tonight. We really appreciate your presence here. And did you guys enjoy the gin?
Oh yes.
I think it's amazing. Can I give you feedback for Abashal?
Shout out, dog, throw it there.
This has got an element of taste as well. Since to a citrus gin, I like it. I think I would recommend it for everyone. And also, I just want to say something to you chaps. What you guys are doing here is amazing. We said it with my twin last game. To put up this platform for us, for yourselves, for everyone else who's going to be coming here. Big stuff. I hope that you guys
and that they're doing it for the right reasons. There's nothing as beautiful as people doing something
and the why.
For the right reasons.
For the right reasons, Let's put each other up. Support each other, let's back each other.
Much love, guys. And also got cool. Before we go, I have to ask you guys. Chris Breezy, Chris Breezy. You come at the same time.
Wow.
Yo, guys, sorry about that. I just wanted to say, on the socials, guys, you can throw it out there. So come on, give us all your socials, bro, so that the people watching can know where to find you.
Instagram, that's my handle.
Are you serious?
Genuinely.
Shit, I thought you lied.
Just before we go off, I just want to say why. When we took that journey in 2017-18, I said to myself, I want to be someone who's there but cannot be reached. So I said, what's the best way to describe yourself besides being Chris Brown or Qamani? I was like, can't get, can't tolakala. Chris Brown washela uRihan waqoma ngomzuzu owodwa. Umalandela izintombi zithi quarantine and chill. So that's where I came up with the term. I was like, and no one's gonna find me there. And bazothi ubana lendlava enxabethu hayibo Lendo yami indawo is upper. So I just made it Gababam so that I wanted to confuse the enemy.
Confuse the enemy.
On Instagram, on Facebook, Qamani Ludidi Gam Tim Kulu II, Proud Hui Man.
Okay.
And then our business is Zochoza Holdings.
Yeah.
And Zochoza _ events.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where you can.
I'll call good Twitter perhaps.
I'm too opinionated.
Yeah, so good Twitter is very sensitive. You might find yourself getting dragged for saying.
TikTok and I'm not a dancer and I'm not a person who does it.
I was just about to ask you about TikTok.
Ranela account
Anele _ ku TikTok.
I told you I'm not on TikTok, man. I created that account under duress, and then I had to leave it there afterwards. Anyways, we Yonela, send your shout out.
Instagram or Facebook. Facebook to Yonela Ludidi.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should give a background on the Naldo.
Nah, don't worry. But if you want to, we're not gonna stop.
Ronaldo.
So there were toe 4, there was a guy, toe 3,
Yeah.
who is Ronaldo Nazario, the Brazilian.
Yeah.
So I used to score a lot of goals for fun.
Okay.
So I was like, nah, before everyone gives me my flowers, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yes. And then when you started rapping in high school,
you had to take out
the yo
and leave the
just
N.
Naldo. Yes. Otherwise, go Instagram. I'm Chris Brown.
Chris.
What did you say?
Chris with the T. Chris Brown, but T.
With the T.
We call Mosvasity grapes. So that's where the T comes in.
And then, are you not on Twitter as well?
I quit.
No other social, nothing. I can feel about Yonela about Chris Brown. But guys, no man, I have to be honest here. Thank you so much for coming to the show. We really appreciate it. It's a Goodfellas Apa, still with the Ludidi brothers. Anil is signing out. Before we go, actually, guys, please do like and do subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, like I always say, stay mighty, stay fresh, and always keep pushing.
Yep.
Anil here, signing out.
Sup.
Infuse the refreshing citrus flavor. A gin in a class of its own. Bonjour Citrus Gin. The refreshing taste of sophistication.